Welcome to the Small Business Made Simple podcast, brought to you by socialmediaandmarketing.com.au. Being in business is never easy, but it can be simple, or at least simpler. Join me, your host Jen Donovan, every week where we focus on marketing, social media, and working towards simplifying your business. You with me? Let's do this.
Gonna dream it big, 'cause someone out there listening. Everyone's got a voice to give, and it's time I heard you whistling, 'cause there's no point at all, in dreaming small.
Why, hey there, my fabulous listener. Welcome to episode 219 of the Small Business Made Simple podcast. Thank you, as always, for lending me your ears today. I know that you have lots of choices out there, so I do sincerely appreciate you making my podcast one of them. If you are enjoying this podcast, though, I'd love you to take a screenshot and share it on your socials and maybe tag me, because that would be super cool to get to know you a little bit and to be able to follow your small business journey along on social media as well. Before we get started, there's a few things. So first of all, if you want to see the show notes for this episode, you can find them at all the W's, socialmediaandmarketing.com.au/219. And did you have a listen to last week's episode? Episode 218 was all about the real cost of discounting your goods and services. Now, we all know we lose margin, but do you actually know overall how much margin you will lose and what work it's going to take for you to catch up to bring that profit back in? It's a great episode. I think that it's a really good episode for you to go to listen to, especially this time of the year, regardless of whether you're service-based or retail-based business. It certainly created some great conversations in my community this week. So if you haven't listened to that one, after you finish here today, slip back and listen to 218. One more thing before we get started. Please stick with me. I just wanted to do a little plug for my online marketplace. So as you may or may not know, I have an online marketplace called spendwithus.com.au that supports rural and regional small businesses. And my little hope is that maybe you will help support them as well this Christmas giving season. It's been another really tough year in the bush, and I know every one of my sellers or our sellers on the platform would really appreciate your purchase or really your help to spread the word if you've already done your Christmas shopping or things are a little bit tight, and that's okay too. But spreading the word about Spend With Us, sharing a social media post, giving a shout out through your emails, or recommending to a friend or a family member that they support rural and regional small businesses through spendwithus.com.au is just as helpful as actually going and buying from a small business owner over there. So thank you. I hope that's okay to give my little plug there, but I would love you to shop at all the W's, spendwithus.com.au. But hey, on to today's episode. We are talking actually about managing leads, and we're looking at the old way versus the new way. The old way that we used to manage leads, the old-fashioned marketing strategies and techniques, versus the new ways of managing leads. So what are the old ways? Let's have a look at the old ways. Small business owners, or business owners in general, really, and hopefully not you anymore, managed leads that came into their business. So we used to, and I use we very loosely, I did not do this, and I'm sure that you did not do this either, but business owners promoted to as many people as possible. It's just like throw spaghetti against the wall, see what sticks, and they're the people that we will sell to. They used to, or some business owners promote all their products and services. So it's just like there's this huge amount of marketing and a huge amount of lists. We do this, and this. Again, confused buyer doesn't buy. We don't need to tell everybody everything all the time. You will know that people convinced people to buy. So convincing people that they should buy from you, literally convincing them. That was an old-fashioned way of managing leads into a business. Applying pressure to make people buy, pushing people to make a decision, and of course then make sales where you can, with who you can, and then just repeat the whole process. Does any of that sound familiar, either as a customer of someone else's business or perhaps some sales practices you'd rather forget from the past in your own business? So what are the new ways? How do we manage leads now? How do we really create sales now? Well, we niche in our area of expertise. We provide answers to our prospects' problems. We offer more value upfront. We position ourselves as the expert, and we provide evidence that we are actually the expert. And we invite them to take the first step of this journey with you. And we introduce the full range of services once they are actually in our world. Does any of that sound familiar as to how you manage leads? I really hope that is sounding more familiar to you on how you manage leads and manage sales. As the Americans say, the riches are in the niches. Now we call it niches, but it rhymes so much better when you say the riches are in the niches. And of course, as I say, and I'm pretty sure I stole this quote from somewhere, from someone at some time, a confused buyer doesn't buy. So what did we really learn from those two lists? Well, this is what I see that we can learn from the old way of doing business, the old way of creating sales and managing leads, to the new way of managing leads and making sales. This is what I see we've learned from those two lists. Niche your services and market your niche. Just niche down. It doesn't mean that you don't offer other stuff, but the way you market yourself is niche. Lead with value and give, ask. So value before sales. So you are always giving your expertise, your knowledge, your tips, your tricks, maybe some freebies in there before you go and ask for the sale. Deliver content that's solving your prospect's problem, or of course surprising and delighting them as well. Stop convincing people to buy from you and let them discover you and what you have to offer that will solve the problems that they have. So rather than convincing selling, we are doing discovery sales, discovering selling by letting them discover that we can actually be the ones that can help them by sharing our knowledge, our tips, by leading with value, by understanding what our niche is, and delivering content that's solving their problems. Know what you want to be famous for and position yourself as an expert in X, whatever X is for you. And rather than promoting absolutely everything you do, understand what your prospects and your audience want and market that. The rest of your services can be like add-on services or VIP services once they are actually in your world. Again, market what it is that you want to be famous for. What's the niche? If you follow a lot of marketers like myself, or maybe you've heard, you're a long-time listener of the podcast, you've probably heard this a lot from me, these points a lot from me. And I guess that's kind of the point. This stuff is actually important. Think of how you want to be sold yourself. Like, how do you want people to sell from you and deal with you as a lead in their business? And then use part of that selling strategy in your selling strategy too, because no one likes to be sold to. And my guess is that as soon as you feel like you're being sold to, you either start to step backwards or click backwards, depending on whether you're being sold to in real life or on the internet. We always click the back button, or we start to take steps backwards towards the door. So what content do you have in your business that provides value, services, and solves the problems of your ideal client? What's your niche? What do you want to be famous for? And what problems do you solve? Or alternatively, what do you surprise and delight your customers or your prospects with? Or how do you surprise and delight your customers and prospects? We are officially now in December and the end of the year is nigh. So if you don't have time to answer these questions today, because I get it, you could be winding up or winding down depending on your business, but note them down. Save this podcast for episode and make note to come back here, perhaps later in this year or early next year when things calm down, and answer those questions and get 2023 off to one of the best starts that you possibly could. Of course, I will be offering planning sessions. They'll go on sale shortly, all online via Zoom. So hopefully you can come along to one of those and join me for planning 2023, actually planning the heck out of 2023 to make it even better than what this year was for you. But if you've got questions about funnels, if you've got questions about, convincing selling or not convincing selling, about how you actually, how the new ways are of dealing with leads and prospects, then sing out. I'm more than happy to have a conversation with you. Of course, you can come and leave your feedback and your thoughts in my Facebook group, Like-Minded Business Owners, or you could DM me or you could email me, jen@jendonovan.com.au. I'd love to know your thoughts on this as well. And look, just on that as well, if you have any topics you would like me to cover in 2023, because 2022 is just about sewn up for the podcast now. But if you've got any topics you would like me to cover next year, sing out. I would love to hear what they are. And as always, if you would like me to help you get 2023 off to a great start, then book a discovery call with me. The link is in the show notes, which you can find at allthews, social media and marketing.com.au/219. But that's it for this particular episode. I will, of course, see you back here for episode 220. If we aren't friends and getting social on social, then please come and find me on Instagram, Facebook or LinkedIn. I would absolutely love that. And of course, as I always say, whatever you do, my small business peep, as my opening song says, there is no point in dreaming small.
No time like the present. Tell it like you feel it, say it proud, be true, and let us see you for the star that you are. No point in dreaming small.
I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land, the Yorta Yorta people, on which I record this podcast and conduct my business today, and pay my respects to their elders, past and present. I extend this respect to the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people here with us today as well.